Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join three Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers!
Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. This is Kelly.
Cousin Gina.
Cousin Gina is joining us because we're going to talk about, joining me, we're going to talk about Southern Charm, both reunions. And Wendy is away with a friend working on a project that she has been helping out with for years. I'm going to let Wendy talk about that because it's really an amazing product that her friend created. So I'm going to let Wendy talk about that when she gets back. And I'm sure she'll have some stories because she is in the LA area. So I know she's going to go to the restaurants and try to see the people. She's done it before.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's great.
And Lori doesn't watch Southern Charm. So Cousin Gina graciously accepted my invitation to come talk about this. Before we talk about Southern Charm, however, there's two subjects we need to discuss. The return of Real Housewives of New Jersey, sans Margaret Josephs, which I couldn't be more disappointed that Margaret's gone. And then we're going to talk about the cancellation of Miami. But let's get into New Jersey first. Quickly, we'll just do this quickly because I feel like Southern Charm's going to take us a little while.
Well, first off, I think I'm going to look on Cameo or some of these things. And how much would it cost me to get Andy to spend a half an hour with me? You know, because you can go on to these sites and have dinner with celebrities.
Yes.
But I'm sure Andy is $100,000.
Probably.
I really need to sit him down. He is rewarding bad behavior again.
Over and over
bringing
and over
back Teresa and Louis. And I'm very upset that, the Gorgas have bought into it based on, what happened. And I can't wait to hear Margaret say what happened. Why would you go back to a show that is bringing back an abuser of your family?
So I totally agree with you 100%. And I've said this to you before. Like, we have always all been Gorga fans. Huge Gorga fans. My feeling on Melissa and Joe now, I understand Joe wants to reconcile with his sister. You do you. But Melissa, Margaret is supposed to be one of your best friends. Louis, and I'm not saying allegedly because he fucking did it, called Margaret's son at his place of employment. What an invasion of privacy, and threatened him. That is your friend's child.
Who
that
had
is
nothing
not
to do
forgivable.
with the show.
Exactly. Never had anything to do with the show. And my feeling is this. If you feel pressured to film with your sister-in-law for your husband's sake, and let's face it, the only reason they feel pressured is because Teresa needs the job. You should have said, not Louis. And the fact that you had that man around your children at the holidays after he did what he did, I'm blown away.
You're talking about Melissa and Joe, yeah.
Yeah. You allowed that man near your children after what he did. I'm blown away.
Margaret, I know that there's something in the contracts where housewives can't sue housewives.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that extends to the husbands, but I would have loved to have seen some legal actions filed.
Absolutely.
But what an insult to Margaret.
Mm-hmm.
What an insult.
Good friend?
Whether or not Bravo offered her $1 million an episode, whatever. It doesn't matter. What they did to her is horrible, allowing Louis back. And we're assuming Louis back on the show because they're saying Teresa is allowed. Nobody's made a statement that Louis been excluded. So you're assuming that he is coming back. And I think the fact that those three are coming back, it's an Ambien to me. That's what I'll put on to go to sleep at night.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And my other thought is any new girl joining this show, you're out of your mind because Teresa has to get along with Melissa now because she needs the money. She doesn't have to get along with anybody else. She's going to come for somebody. And I wouldn't doubt if she goes for Dolores. I don't doubt it for a second. that she'll go after her own friend.
Go watch some of the old episodes. You know, I watch Roku in the middle of the night.
Mhm.
They're always got the Bravo Vault, and when Soggy Flicker was on,
Mhm.
Dolores was very close with Soggy and was not friends with Teresa. You gotta go watch that.
They were friends, but she was not blindly loyal to Teresa the way she is now.
No, she was
You're right,
not.
when Siggy was on the show. She wasn't. She
Yeah,
wasn't
Soggy.
blindly
Her
loyal.
name is Soggy
Soggy.
Flicker.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And here's the thing for all the tree stumps out there who think that Teresa is the show. She's given so much. She's given so much, she had no choice. Yep, she got pregnant and had a baby on the show. So did a lot of other housewives. Yep, she went to jail on the show. What choice did she have but to go to jail on the show? She was going to jail. She needed the money. What's going on in her life right now? She's got financial troubles. She's got issues with her husband. We saw a conversation in a preview last year of them speaking about finances, never aired. She's not sharing shit with us
And
anymore, Teresa. She's
yeah.
not sharing anything with us anymore. She had no choice to share that back in the day. No choice. She's choosing now not to share, and they're still giving her a spot on the show. I think it's a huge mistake. And listen, I'll give it a couple of episodes, but
Andy has gone too far with rewarding bad behavior.
100%.
I am 100% give people a second chance, sometimes a third chance.
Mhm.
But Teresa's not innocent like they made her out to be.
No.
Not one bit. But I'm not gonna even go into that. The fact is they're finally bringing back the show, and they announced these 3. You made us wait how many years
Right.
for this?
Right.
And first off, you have got 2 people that you could bring back, Danielle Cabral and Rachel
Rachel Fu.
Fuda.
Yep.
Bring those 2 back. They've already have a year. They've got, some type of, and they were good. They got overshadowed because of what was happening at the time.
Yeah.
But
They
those
should have.
2, phenomenal.
Yep. They should have brought back Rachel, Danielle, Melissa as a friend of, Dolores as a friend of, and brought in younger women who had more in common with Danielle and Rachel. That's how you reboot a show, not what they did in New York with an all new cast, which was horrible. And I don't blame the women they cast the show with for it being horrible. Blame the producers because of what they focused on. It was nonsense. But they should have kept Rachel and Danielle. People liked them. The only people that didn't like Rachel were the people who love Teresa.
Mhm.
We're over it.
Yeah.
Bring back Rachel and Danielle, Melissa and Dolo as friends of, and get some new people in with younger kids.
But
And
get
let's
rid of
see,
Teresa.
get
Get
rid of
rid of
Teresa.
Teresa.
We want to see affluent women living lives in our state. Teresa's not it. I think it's a mistake. But you know what? We'll see.
They made a
Ours,
huge mistake not filming while she was in jail because that would have been a perfect opportunity to see how the franchise did without her.
exactly. Chose not, it's not that they couldn't film without her. They chose
They
not to.
chose not
They
to.
gave her this big head that she has that the show revolves around her. It's an ensemble cast.
Yeah. OC did just fine without Vicky.
Exactly. I mean, they're bringing her back, but it's the 20th anniversary and,
Yeah,
you know,
listen, you know,
it is what
she
it
doesn't
is.
it is what it is. Vicky just has to relax and stop trying so hard,
Yeah.
you
Now,
know.
what do you think about them canceling Miami?
I mean, they just canceled Miami
I
and they
know.
just brought it back. I
And
mean,
people loved it.
I
People
don't
loved it.
understand when it came back, everybody went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody went nuts. They're so happy. Andy was saying, I can't believe it took us so long. It's doing so great. What caused it? It Do you think it was casting? Maybe somebody wasn't coming back, or maybe Alexia with the boyfriend who's suing. I think that could have had something to do with it.
I agree. I do think the Alexia Todd dynamic had something to do with it because I'm not one to say a show revolves around a housewife, and I'm not saying that Miami revolves around Alexia. However, if you're going to bring Miami back, there's no reason not to bring Alexia back. But you
Alexia
can't
is
bring her
Teresa
back.
Light.
Alexia is definitely Teresa Light. no accountability, doesn't admit when she's wrong,
It's all about her. It's her
but
show.
it's all about her, but she's more likable. But you can't bring Alexia back if she's not gonna film with her husband. And they're not gonna let this guy film. He was suing them for how he was shown on the show. Like,
It was
that
horrible.
yeah, that might be the
That's how it
biggest
came
reason.
across. Yeah. And the funny part is they're friends with Louis and Teresa. I say get them both off the franchises, bring Miami back, get her off, bring back New Jersey, get Teresa off. Give them a show with the 4 of them.
Yeah.
Let them go flip houses together or something.
Yeah,
Let
go
them
do
go on
something.
go do something. Give them a show, God bless them. And if they bring in ratings, bring in ratings. It'll be like there are other shows on Bravo. I don't want Do you know I've never seen a Rachel Zoe show?
I didn't watch her show when she had
Never
it.
saw it.
No,
I
me
love her.
neither.
I
I
love
love
her.
her on Beverly Hills, though. I mean, what a
Yeah,
great addition. I
yeah.
love her on Beverly Hills, but I never watched her show either. So we'll see. I'm very disappointed about Miami. I don't like Marisol, and I feel like Dr. Nicole left because of Marisol, and I loved Dr. Nicole.
Marisol was always my favorite, and Dr. Nicole was my ultimate favorite on that show. Her
She was
last
great.
season, she blew it out of the water, and she was a real rich person. She had money, she's buying these jets and her
Yeah.
husband, and how can they oh my god, Gertie and her husband.
I mean, it's like an
The show
American
should be on for
story, those
Gertie's
2.
husband if
They're
for no other
literally high
reason.
school sweethearts.
He is the best number 1 Real Housewife husband that ever existed.
He's definitely the number 1 guy in the group. Yep.
Number 1 guy.
And
I'm
it was a
sorry,
big
but
Latin representation. It was a big like, it was a big
mhm,
I think it's a mistake. I don't know what the heck happened with it, but
they I really don't think it's true. It hasn't sunk in yet.
I
Honestly, you're
know.
asking me how I feel about it? It hasn't sunk in yet.
Yeah.
Because it's happened before, and then they brought it remember they brought it back on Just Peacock, and that was real interesting because they hadn't done that before, although they reran it once the season was done on Peacock. I just think it'll come back, and you know what? If they don't have contracts, E should be pick you wanna pick them up, E? You go right ahead.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know
That's
what?
what they're
What's the
doing with the New
difference
York
between
Golden Girls.
E and Bravo? It's channel 38 or channel 37, you
Yeah.
know? It's like,
Yeah.
we don't care.
No.
I DVR everything. I don't
I
watch your
was listening
commercials.
to it's called Reality Court. It's Anna Kinkosis and this guy Ace. He could be a little be a little annoying actually. But Anna was on the first season of Miami. So now
Yes,
and she's a lawyer. So now she has this
yes.
podcast. So they were saying that it's hard to come back after being canceled twice.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not I don't think it's gonna happen either, but what a shame, like, I even grew to like Stephanie, like, I really wanted to see Stephanie's 2nd season because I felt like
Yeah.
she flexed so much the 1st season, but you know what else that
She's
guy
kinda
Ace
like
said?
Amanda.
Yeah, but not as, like, cringy as Amanda
No,
is
no,
about
I
it.
like Stephanie,
Yeah.
but Stephanie had a story that didn't sound like it was true, or it sounded like there was a lot of ifs, ands, or buts about it, you know?
Right, right.
How you met the husband, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because there was that rumor out there that she was the wife's assistant or something, which wound up not to be
Yeah,
even true.
yeah.
All right, well, those are our thoughts on those 2 topics. Let's get into Southern Charm, the reunion. It's season 11. The first episode, I mean, Madison comes out with like a revenge body. Not that she needed one because she's happily married. And Andy asks her if she's pregnant. I'm like, Andy.
Wait, I wanna say one thing. I am 100% cis, okay? Never thought of woman, I am strictly men. Madison LaCroix is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my life.
I think you're right.
If God came down and said to me, "Gina, I'm gonna make you over, who would you like to look like?" I just Madison LaCroix.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. And I had said this earlier on to Wendy one time, like, I don't like Salley anymore. And obviously we'll get into it as we're speaking. I felt that way about Salley. I thought I am, you know, I mean, I think everything's fluid anyway, but I am a straight woman and into guys, but Salley was so attractive to me. I was like
All of
so
them are.
attracted to her. I
Yeah.
thought same thing. Like, if I had to
Well,
go for somebody, it would be Salley,
yeah.
but not anymore. Now I'd go for Madison because
But
Salley annoys
and
the
you know
shit out of
what?
me.
And Madison has never been skinny.
Mm-mm.
Like, I look at some of these young ladies
Well, look at Venita. I mean, Venita's so tiny.
or even some of the ladies on Summer House.
Mhm.
Just listen, I was never that skinny. I think I skipped, like, 40 pounds. I think I went from this weight and then jumped 40 pounds, like, overnight. Like, I just woke up and I was a large woman.
Yeah, I was never super skinny. No matter how thin I got because I was single for 4 years before Eric and I started dating, and I was at the gym every day. Like, I worked out. I was in the best shape of my life when we met. Poor bastard, I really tricked him. But I always still had a little belly. I just always had a belly.
I never had a belly until I hit menopause. I had
Okay.
big butt, big legs, but my belly was flat, and never until I hit menopause did I get a belly.
Yeah, well, I'm hitting it soon, so I have to really keep myself in check because I can't let this belly get any bigger.
Yeah,
So
and we've got the genes.
we do have the Vivala genes, we do.
We
It's
got
the
the
eyes and the
Vivala
belly.
genes.
We get
Yep,
screwed in. Yeah. So we do the initial hellos and, everybody kind of does was their thing with Andy.
except Craig.
So Andy asks Craig if he watched the season and Craig says no. And Craig says that he's in a space in life where he looks for peace. And Whitner eventually right away calls him out on it. Now, what's your feeling on Craig? Because I feel like you have a strong feeling here.
Well, first off, nobody know you and I never spoke about what we're talking about.
We've
You're
never talked
hearing
about Southern Charm
first
before.
time. Yeah, yeah. I feel that I could have written the script, okay? Because this is what happened. Last year, Craig separated himself from everyone, and he was more of a summer house person because of his relationship with Paige, okay? And when that went south, now remember, now he then this is last season, or maybe even the season before too.
It was 2
He
seasons ago, yeah.
alienated his friends. I mean, Austin, and Shep weren't just friendly. They're real friends. They're out together all the time. It's like you hear a lot of these people like the New York franchise, Sonya will say, "No, I only see people when I film. I don't ever see them." Those 3, I think said it on one of the reunions was that, they used to just be find them walking down whatever the big street is in Charleston. I
Yep.
mean, that was,
King Street, yep.
they were their guys, the 3 of them. That was a real true friendship, and even they didn't know each other before the show. There were other people who were friends on that show, but Craig did not wasn't friends with Chef, and they were both first seasons.
Yeah, yep.
I forgot they may have known each other from the bars, but they weren't
Right,
friendly. Craig was actually from Fenwick Island, Delaware.
right, right.
I mean, Shep was friends with Thomas Ravenel and Whitney, there were
Well,
a lot of
Whitney
real true
Whitney
friendship.
created this show.
Yes, he
Whitney
did.
created this show. So I think Whitney had a friendship with Shep, obviously Thomas Ravenel, they ran in the same circles. And I think Craig was just kind of on the outside, but they figured, hey, what the hell? My thought is, I agree with you. I think that they were really true friends, Shep, Austin, and Craig. I think whatever I'm going to say during this episode, I don't want to come off as I'm blaming Paige for anything because I think Paige had every right to break up with Craig and move on with her life.
Mhm.
I think Craig was very much in love with Paige, and I think Paige made Craig a better person. I think Paige brought out a better version of
100%.
Craig than has ever been a version of Craig, and I think Craig knows that. And I
Yes.
think when he was in that relationship, he was so head over heels. He was so happy. He just wanted to be the best version of himself because of Paige.
And look what
And
happened to his business.
right. I
Remember, we're
think
we're
that
talking about
because
2 years. Yeah.
Shep and Austin were drinking buddies, and let's face it, if anybody should never have another ounce of alcohol in their body again, it's Craig
Oh,
Conover. Craig, do not drink. He just shouldn't drink.
that's
And
why
I
his
think
pinky's all twisted because he punched the wall.
I think that's why he said he alienated himself from them. I'm not saying it's right, but I do think that that's why. And again, I give Paige props because
Yeah.
I really feel like she brought out a great, great version of Craig, and I don't think he wants to go back to the old version, but without a partner. And I think he really liked Charlie. I think Charlie was the first person he actually really
He had
liked
true feelings, yes.
after Paige.
And Paige, I know he wasn't blindsided because he's even said, he had some notice. But I mean, he was blindsided when it originally happened, and I don't think the breakup would have happened if Paige didn't take the initiative.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, I
Yeah.
think that Craig would have stayed with her forever. I don't even think he would have been like, one of us has to move. I think he would have moved to New York.
Yes, yes. He loved her so much, and that's what I'm getting at. So now Craig has alienated himself from the Southern Charm cast because he's spending a lot of time with his girlfriend in New York. He is
Thinking he's
doing
probably
his
gonna ultimately move there.
Yes. He's trying to get her to love Charleston like he loves Charleston. But I think and she basically said it, her mom's up here. She's not leaving her mom. She talks to her mom every day. You know,
Her whole life was in New York. I
yeah.
mean, what she does for a living, she can't just go live anywhere. She has to be in New York.
Someday you have to explain to me how she makes money off of that because I still can't figure out the internet. But amazing. I could probably be making so much money doing stuff. I have
Yeah,
no idea. So anyway, so Craig alienated himself. He did try, of course, because he is on a show to maintain a relationship, but I think he broke up with Austin to be with Paige
I totally agree.
because they were closer than they were with Shep. And if you go back a few seasons, they even spoke about it one time when they all went away, that Austin and Craig were talking how differently they're treated because they're not mailbox babies. You know what a mailbox baby is?
Well, yeah, yeah, what
Yeah,
Shep and Whitney are, yeah.
Whitney.
Trust
You
fund
get a
babies, yeah,
trust fund. Yeah, you get a check in
yeah,
the mail every month. They weren't brought up like that. They were brought up in regular households like the rest of us,
right.
and they were talking how differently they were treated. So their relationship was closer, I think, than either one of them had with Shep. And I think Shep only was friendly with them for the show and then
Yeah,
realized how much he liked them,
right,
you
and then
know?
it grew into something.
And then it grew
Yeah,
and they became true friends. So now this happens. He's with Paige and he's getting to a point where he's going to ask her to marry him and he's going to have to make a decision where they're going to live, blah, blah, blah. They break up. So now what does he have? He only has Southern Charm. He's not gonna be on the Summer House cast anymore. I mean, for 2 years, he was doing both.
and listen, we saw Austin go to him and be like, "I wanna hang out, like, I wanna do that." Like, before he and Paige broke up, and he was like, "That's not my life anymore," and I always took that to mean, like, "I can't go drink with you anymore. I'm on a different path right now."
Because that's all they did. They
Right.
didn't do it's not like they were playing golf or you know what I'm saying?
Right. So then when he and Paige break up, it's like, okay, so you want your drinking buddy back, but Craig obviously shouldn't drink. And I'm sure he doesn't get like that every time he drinks,
He
but
has anger issues.
he has anger issues and they clearly come out when he's drunk.
Yeah.
I mean,
He really needs anger management. And
yes.
on the show, I heard him deflect from the alcohol to the anger. You can't deflect from the alcohol, Craig. Listen, myself, I'll drink maybe 2 or 3 of those cans of vodka seltzer a week. Like, that's
Mhm.
how much I don't drink much, you know?
Right, right,
And there's a
right.
lot of people like me that don't drink at all or don't drink a lot. So I don't understand drinking to get that drunk. I can't comprehend it.
I think that these shows encourage drinking, all of them. You know,
Trial's
and I
starting.
think it takes a really strong person to resist it.
Yeah.
But
And
anyway,
they're also thinking that they have to drink for the show. So
but 100
so now
absolutely.
he's trying to get back with them, and Austin's really hurt. "You broke up with me for her?" And, I
Right.
mean, you have to look at it like a boyfriend-girlfriend thing. And
So Austin definitely still has resentment from
he as he should. Chef, he could care less.
right. He's just gonna live
He
his
could
life.
care less, yeah. So, I mean, that's how I feel. So, this year, I knew that it was going to be attack Craig, that Craig can do no right.
It really did. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to defend him, but I did feel like
We could have
they
written
were
the whole season.
they were all coming for him. And
Yeah.
that van ride in Mexico was horrendous. Horrendous the way he was talking to Salley.
I'm so glad that Charlie was in the same van and saw it. And
Yeah.
let me say something now because it was said on the reunion and they caught themselves before they went too far. But they were telling Sally that they didn't wanna date her because she's too much of a woman about town. Well, you sure as hell haven't said that to Shep Austin or Craig, have you? Just because you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking.
And then they caught themselves and realized, well, we really shouldn't be talking about that because
Well, if
that's
you
a
didn't
real
love Madison
gender.
before, you have to love Madison now because she said she and Austin have had conversations where he said that if Sally were a little more tamed down, he would look at her more than a hookup. I'll tell you what though right now, I believe Madison 100% that Austin said that. Austin is a fuck boy. He is not ready to settle down. If he were ready to settle down, he would have settled down with Audrey.
Yes.
Sally, cut your losses and move on because I've done it. I've spent time with somebody who I was friends with who I thought it was gonna, because I was kind of strung along. This was before Eric, but it's never gonna happen. If they don't look at you like that now, it's not gonna happen. I mean, I understand that some people turn friendships into relationships, into intimate relationships, and it works and they get married and live happily ever after. I understand that. But not when the guy is saying, you go out too much, you do this. He's looking for an excuse to just be like, I just want to sleep with you when I want to sleep with you. And I'm going to say it's because of this, but it's really not. It's really just that I'm a Peter Pan and I'm not ready to grow up. That's
Tell me what
Austin.
the difference is of the 3 of those guys being F boys and
Right.
Sally being an F girl. I was saying to myself, "God, but I really like this." They're showing a whole different type of woman from the South,
Right.
and I loved it.
Right.
There is nothing wrong with her being an aggressor if there was something that she wanted,
I
and
totally agree with that.
they made her look bad. They
They did.
really did. The producers didn't do her any justice.
They never do, though. They never do. I mean, Austin actually used the word body count. You know what that means, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
High body count hair?
High body count hair. That means you slept with a lot of people. Your body
Yeah.
count is how many people you've had sex with. That, if you're her friend, Austin, you don't bring up body count on national television on a reunion on a show you're filming with your friend. I felt like Austin played the victim in a lot of this reunion. You could be mad at Craig all you want. I think what it really comes down to, though, with Craig and Austin, this season at least, I know there was built up resentment when Craig said to him, your life looks the same as it did 5 years ago. Craig's very successful, let's face it. He's got the business, he's been on the show longer. Austin did the trop hop. Austin, I don't know what he's doing in his personal life as far as work, but on the surface, it
He
looks
and
like he
Shep
only
own a
has
bar.
he and Craig now they are partners. I think
It's
it's him
he
and
and Craig?
Craig.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
but I think
and
that
that's
that's
been
what
going
really
on
hurt
for a
Austin's
while.
feelings. Yeah, and they must have filmed this prior to that happening because I think that really hurt Austin's feelings that Craig said that. Like Shep said, it's like better than me, better than you, I'm better than you kind of statement. It's not a nice thing to say to your
Craig
friend,
could have done himself better.
for sure.
Yeah. And you know what? From what I understand, I think Austin's beer would have gone well up here.
I
I think it
totally
was
agree with you.
a lighter fruity type of a beer,
Tiki
and
Bar, Jenks, that shit
yeah,
would have popped
yeah,
off, Austin.
it
Come up
sure
to the
would
Jersey
have.
Shore.
But I don't
It will work at
understand
the Jersey Shore.
I don't it doesn't sound like they're manufacturing it at all any
I don't know. I don't know if they are. Listen, and I like Austin very much. I just felt like,
if he's living off the money he makes on Southern Charm, God bless him.
there's nothing
What
wrong
does
with
he have
that.
to do anything else for, you know?
No,
We
there's
know
nothing
he's not
wrong with
getting a
that.
trust fund,
Yeah,
you know,
I
and what
did.
I mean, he's not an attorney, right? Like, what
No,
was
Craig
his
went to law school. He's a JD. He's not an ESQ. So he went to law school. He didn't pass the bar. He's not a practicing attorney.
No, I'm not talking Craig, I'm talking Austin.
No, he's not an attorney.
Craig did
I
pass
don't
the
know what.
bar, I
I'm sure
thought.
he went to. I'm sure he has a bachelor's degree from.
Right, but I'm wondering what did he do before Southern Charm? Was it marketing or, you know? But I
That's
thought
a
that
great
Craig
question. I don't
passed the
know.
bar. I thought Craig
I
passed the
don't think
bar.
Craig. I don't even. No, maybe eventually, but
Google.
yeah, Google. But how about when Madison said that Audrey will be the girl that got away for Austin, and Austin agreed?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
again, if you didn't love Madison before, she says something else when we get to episode 2 that I thought, I'm so glad she said that because I've been thinking it all season.
Excuse me, he passed the bar in April 17.
He did pass the bar, but he's just not a practicing attorney.
After initially being ineligible due to a missing law school paper, he completed the requirements. He passed on his first attempt, and he was officially sworn into the South Carolina bar in February 18.
Wow. I stand corrected. So he is an
One
ESQ.
time. Yeah, one time not like my John John.
I know. That was wild that guy couldn't pass the bar, wasn't it?
He didn't have to pass the bar.
No, he didn't have to. It's just wild that he didn't because he
I
was clearly a
know.
very intelligent guy. But, listen, I've worked for lawyers my whole life.
And
And
New
the
York
ones
bar,
who,
they say
half
is
of the ones that do pass the bar, I'm like, really?
New York bar is one of the most difficult to pass.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah,
And when I say that, I'm not talking about my current employers. I love my current employers. They're
yeah.
amazing gentlemen to work for.
And I love my
Um,
attorney.
Yeah. So let's see. So the first episode kind of wraps up, Austin, Whitner calls Austin I'm sorry. Whitner says Austin has a victim complex and Craig is a narcissist. I personally don't think Craig is a narcissist. I know he has bad behavior. I think that there's very specific behavior you have to fit into to be a narcissist. And I honestly don't think Craig does fit into that because
People use the word too much. They
I
use the word
totally
too
agree.
much.
He had a good, until it was over, he and Paige had a good relationship. And I feel like he really transformed during that relationship. Again, all credit to her.
Yes, and his business, that's when his business went through the roof.
And I think if you're a narcissist, I don't think somebody can have that kind of an impact on you, positive impact on you.
Right,
So
right.
I
And
didn't
she
agree with
did.
that.
She did.
She did.
Now,
She did.
I
There's no
watched
denying it.
I watched both parts of the reunion a couple of times. So I'm kind of like mind melded, like what episode
Right,
something
right.
happened, because it was a reunion. Andy goes back and forth. But the way
Well,
Craig
at the
came
end of the
in,
first one, Craig felt very piled on and basically
yeah,
told production
I don't know if I'll be
when they
back.
resumed for the second part, he basically told production, like, he's not gonna be vulnerable on the show anymore. That's basically at the end of the first episode, he said, "I don't even know if I'm coming back." And then at the beginning of the second, he said, "I'm
You
not gonna
know
be
what, Craig?
vulnerable
You've had
anymore."
worse reunions.
For sure.
Time he was drunk and went after Madison.
That was horrible. But again, he was drinking, like, he just shouldn't drink. Don't drink.
My heart broke because I've loved Madison from day one. I never liked the fact that they gave her a bad edit. If she wanted to sleep with every guy in Charleston, let her sleep with every I don't hear you yelling at Shep about doing that.
Well, here was the thing when Madison first came on the show. she was dating Austin. Austin was still in his F-boy era. He's still in the F-boy era. And Shep and Craig knew that about him.
And
Shep was
why
horrible to
didn't Shep
her
why was Shep horrible? Do you remember?
because she
Because she
rejected
turned
him.
him down. Yes.
Absolutely.
So she
Absolutely.
wasn't an F girl. She was somebody
Right.
that turned you down.
She actually liked Austin, and he
Yes.
wasn't ready for that. And listen, what their friendship has bloomed into is amazing.
Yeah.
Austin and Madison.
I
I
love
l
it.
like,
When
I
they go out to lunch and he gets advice from her.
and she calls him her gay best friend. It's so good. So in the second part, we get to Venita, and Andy asks her about her relationship with Carl Radke. She said something, and I couldn't make it out.
I didn't
She
understand it.
said okay, good, I'm glad I wasn't the only one. She said that Carl put a deadhead in that when he did a People interview, and he told them and she said something, and I couldn't make it out. And I think she said something like he told them this wasn't an issue or something. I couldn't
Didn't
understand her.
understand it.
But basically, they're not together again. Apparently, he's dating somebody from this current season of Summer House. I'm not watching it. I know Wendy is, and you said you are?
Yeah. I wouldn't miss an
Um,
episode of that show.
I mean, Kyle Cook, he's not
I
he's
can't
not
stand him.
as high up on the list as Teresa with me, but he is a close second. I cannot stomach that man. I can't
Well,
stomach
his
him.
true colors are really coming out the past season
Well, I
or
heard he
two.
had a really bad episode this week, right?
And yeah, and you know that they announced that they're getting divorced.
Yeah, I mean, come on,
So
Amanda,
what
get
you're
your shit together.
watching is the 6 months prior to the announcement or however long it was.
Right. So Andy says Venita was asked about Craig's breakup, and then they show Craig on Watch What Happens Live when he says she's not my friend. Then they show Venita watching him say that. Now, I don't know how you feel, but personally, I'm on Craig's side here. Venita and Paige weren't even friends when Craig and Paige broke up, and the entire Summer House cast, no matter what you asked them, they had Paige's back with that breakup.
As they should.
As they should, and I personally feel like everybody from Southern Charm should have done the same thing for Craig. I don't think anybody did anything so severe to each other that anybody needs to be, have hatred feelings
No.
towards the other one, like from the cast. I'm just saying
And Madison was the only one who spent time with Paige. Well, how they
exactly.
showed it, like,
Exactly.
Venita and her did not seem to be friends.
No, and
I think
so
Venita did it for a storyline.
100 I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. I do agree, though, that when Venita said that Craig should have had a conversation with her before, like, just blurting that out on Watch Her, like, she's not my friend, I agree with that. But
I
when,
agree too.
she said she felt like he was enjoying the breakup, and Madison's like, he was not enjoying it. His whole life blew up, and I agree with that. But then, when Venita was talking and then Craig tried to say something, Venita's like, "You always do this. You talk over people. You cut me off. You don't let me speak." He wasn't even doing that. He was totally letting her talk.
He was. He was.
That was a little bizarre. Salley just annoys the hell out of me. I felt like during this reunion, every time somebody had something to say, Salley would insert herself. Like, even when Andy asked Venita, like, "How's your mom?" And she's like, "My mom's good." And Sally's like, "That's my girl."
And Venita's like, "You're what?
Exactly. Like, no, she's not.
You never even met my mother."
Yeah, like, stop inserting yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like her though. I don't dislike Salley because like I said, she's getting the bum F girl rush. That bothers me
Yeah.
when they do that to somebody. So I
Yeah,
tend
I
to
don't
give
like that.
them more grace. But yes, look, my heart's breaking because she's wanting to be with Craig. He's got her buying chickens. Of course you're gonna think that he's gonna wanna have a relationship with you. You don't just take somebody out to buy chickens if you don't wanna ask him out on a date.
Yeah, but
And there was
did
that
you
hot
clock
tub
this?
stuff we don't know about.
Right. The hot tub
I
stuff.
knew
Did you
she
clock
did.
this? Did you hear Craig say, so we're all in the hot tub one night and Salley goes off with Corey, who, if I never see that guy on my TV again, it'll be too soon. So Salley goes off with Corey, and then Craig takes Charlie into the sewing room. Salley, if you were really into Craig, you went off with Corey. I'm going to assume that there was some kissing or something involved. If you're into Craig, why are you going off with his college roommate? Like, and I'm not saying anything about her hooking up with people. You can hook up with whoever you want, but you're telling us that you caught feelings for Craig and he was leading you on, but you were going off. I'm not going to assume that you were hooking up with him, but I'm pretty sure you did. You went off with his friend in front of
Right.
him.
Best friend.
I think that Salley was just reaching. I think that Salley wanted to be the storyline this season. I think Salley wanted the
And
whole
she
show to
was.
revolve around her.
And
So
she
to
knew the
do that,
price.
yep, she had to be interested in every guy on the show. She had to she calls every one of these girls her best friend, and that was the other thing that Madison said. And I'm so glad she said it. You people throw around the words best friend all the time. It's annoying
time.
AF. And
Madison
it really
said,
is.
"How long have you known her?" And it wasn't even a year. How do you become
Exactly.
best friends with somebody after a year?
Right.
You know, I mean,
Ridiculous.
you could feel close with somebody. She's a good friend. She's a dear friend, but she's not
Right.
your best friend. The best friend,
She's not your
that
best
word
friend.
should be reserved. Yeah.
Right. And I did feel bad for Venita in the respect that she said she didn't open up to anybody the way she did Salley. Like even her telling Salley, I mean, it was recorded, it was on film, but even her telling Salley about Molly, who, by the way, why all of these guys aren't trying to date Molly blows my mind. She's gorgeous. She's so funny. She's smart, she's talented, like, why is she
I'll tell
like,
you
yep,
exactly
date
why. I'll tell
Molly.
you exactly why. They have slept together. They admitted that.
Yeah,
Molly
they
said that she has a medical condition that causes her to gain weight. And there's sometimes that she's pretty heavy, and there's sometimes that she's not. And these guys don't want that. They're
you're
shallow.
right, you're
Yeah,
right,
they're
you're right, and
shallow.
she did say that she has a boyfriend and she's very happy, so God bless, like,
God bless
Molly
her. I'm
better stay
glad
on
she's
this
not,
show.
but Salley, that's more of the look that they're looking for. I mean, how great did she look at the reunion?
I mean, I didn't love her dress, I just feel like but whatever, it's fine, it's fine.
I think we should talk about dresses because dresses look beautiful walking in. When you sit down, you should buy your dress to sit down in. And I hear so many of these women talk about how painful it was because they're in those dresses for 12 hours. That's why they rip them off when they go to lunch break
Do
because
you
some of them are
remember the
so
one
tight, they're
Atlanta
painful.
Yeah, do you remember the one Atlanta reunion where Phaedra literally almost passed out? Because she had so much Spanx on, she was sucked in so bad. Her organs were probably like, "Please, lady,
Why would you do
let
that
us
to yourself?
stretch."
Especially Portia had beautiful curves, honey. Show them
I
off.
know. I know.
You know?
All of them.
And there's so many ways to dress. I'm getting some clothes for a vacation, is you know what's going on with that. And, I looked at Sutton Strath because I remember Sutton from day one. I always looked at her and I said, "I think she has a little belly." And she's got great legs, and the way she dresses takes away the look of her I don't know what if it's A-line or what that style dress is called. But I
Yeah.
always there's certain housewives, they just do such a phenomenal job, and I even said to you, "Do you think she had a tummy tuck? Because look at her dresses the last 2 years. The
Yeah,
styles
and
have changed."
she's dressing more for her body this season.
Yeah,
Excuse me. I'm not a huge Sutton fan, but I think she looks amazing this season.
yeah.
I think she
Great
really,
legs.
really looks great. Yeah,
She's got
she
great
really
legs.
does.
Yeah.
So Venita's and Sally's friendship, Venita felt like Salley was playing her for a fool. She was crying at her birthday party. And Madison said, this is the first time in Southern Charm history that everyone is genuine friends. And that's why everyone's emotions are so involved. And I love
'Cause they're
to hear
hurt.
that.
Yeah, me
Yes.
too.
I don't love to hear that Venita feels hurt, but I love to hear
No,
that
but
they're
they're
acknowledging, like,
real
we really
friends.
are friends. Like, cameras up, cameras down. We really
See
are
each
friends. Like,
other all
maybe
year
Craig isn't
long.
calling Venita to go to the bar one night, but, they're in a circle of friends. Maybe some are closer than the others, but they're
Because
they're genuine
immediately
friends.
Venita kind of took the Paige side. That's how it appeared to me and watching.
She
So you
did, and
don't
you
know
can't
how
blame
much of
Craig
that
for
was
having
real.
certain feelings about that.
Be on that cast, you side with your cast.
You do. Because nobody listen, if Craig cheated on her and she broke up with him, but obviously,
Different
you're
story.
a jerk. You did
Yeah,
exactly. That's not what happened. That's
no.
not what happened. And
And
listen, Paige,
immediately, Paige started dating that guy that has the dancing sisters, and
well,
they
he's like a
finally just
billionaire. Joe
they
D'Amelio, he is
where's he
handsome and
where's he getting his money from?
he's like a sports manager or something. He
Oh,
does
because I
something. He's
know
like a
his
sports agent
sisters.
or something.
I watched an episode or 2 of their family reality show. Did you ever see that?
No, what reality show?
His youngest sister is a big influencer and makes millions. And she bought this house on an ocean, and her family lives with her, and now her sister's doing I mean, we're talking about the type of people that make millions upon millions of dollars on YouTube and they're real big influencers, and the show might be their last name. It was on a Netflix type of a streaming. I'll look for
I'm
it
gonna have
later
to
and
look
send
into
you a
that.
link, yeah.
Yeah,
So they
send it to
had
me
a
because
show,
he's
but
adorable, and God bless her. Honestly, listen, I'm gonna say this, and I'm probably gonna get some hate for it, but I heard Paige say somebody asked her about her boyfriend, and it was the same thing as when she was with Craig. She said, "He's great. He knows when to shut up, and he knows when to talk." Now,
I love it.
I know see, you're laughing. I know people think that's funny. I think that is so disrespectful to say. I would never say that about my husband, and I say some fucked up shit about my husband.
That's the type of
I would
stuff
never
you
say
would
I think
say
that is
after
so
20 years of
disrespectful.
marriage to people you know. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, like, I don't think Paige is ever gonna get married. I don't think Paige is the
You
marrying
wouldn't say
kind.
that about somebody who you were waiting for an engagement ring from. Yeah. That's something you
I
say
mean,
after 20 years of marriage.
yeah, I thought, "Damn, she must be treating him the same way." And listen, whatever, it worked. Like I said, I give her all the credit for Craig's transformation, and I think she deserves it. But whatever. So how about when Madison said, "Okay, Austin and Craig, take lessons because that's the way you mend a friendship." Talking about Madison and Venita, because they did seem to
Yeah.
kind of get past, like, I think Venita had to break down a little bit, even though she didn't want to. She didn't. And listen, when you have Glam doing your makeup, of course you don't want to start crying on camera. But I think she needed to do that because Salley, something has to break Salley. Sally's out there doing a job, and I don't think she's taking anybody's emotions into consideration. And I think in that moment, she really needed to take Venita's emotions into consideration.
Isn't Salley the nurse? Doesn't she have a real powerful nursing job?
Yeah, she does. You know how like in surgeries now, like there's robots
She
who are
does
like
the teaching. She teaches the about the yeah,
she's like
that's what she
working
does.
the robot or something. She's got a
Yeah.
big job, Sally.
That's a big
But
job.
Craig said, "Talk to us after doing this for 6 more years, and then we'll take lessons because we do need lessons." At least he admit that he does need
Yeah.
that they do need lessons. But so then we get to the whole Charlie and Craig of it all. Now,
I
well,
thought that was gonna be
I
a beautiful relationship, and I blame Sally's jealousy.
Well, what's interesting though is that Sally said she didn't think Charlie was being forthcoming about how close she and Craig were. And Charlie wanted to see where it went with Craig before telling Sally. And then that's when Madison said, you all throw around the best friend thing too much. But so Charlie you're not watching Southern Hospitality, right? Okay. There's a new guy on Southern Hospitality. His name is Justin. And talk about an F
And
boy.
I saw a picture of him. That's who she's dating, right?
That's who she's dating now. But apparently, it must have been at BravoCon. They all knew. Charlie must not have gone to BravoCon. Or if she was there, I don't know. But Sally, Shep, Austin, they all knew that Charlie was dating this guy. And Austin said he had to sit Craig down and tell him, like, she's dating this guy. I don't know if,
You could
again, I
tell
think
Craig
Charlie,
really liked her.
I think she was the first girl after Paige that Craig was like, wow, and I
Yeah.
mean, well, you dated Joe forever, right? Like, how old were you when you met Joe?
15.
Right. So
And I was with
I
him until
dated
the day he
somebody,
died
I dated
7
somebody
years
from
ago.
14 to 21, and I was heartbroken when we broke up. And 4 years later, I started dating Eric, and we've lived happily ever after. But I
remember.
remember the first guy, I'm not going to say his name, but the first guy I met out at a bar that actually made me laugh after my prior relationship had ended. And I thought, like, I can remember the feeling like, all right, maybe I'm going to be okay. Maybe I can look at somebody else and be interested in them. I remember that. So I think that that's what happened with Greg and Charlie. I think she was the first person to pull him out of that I'm never going to love again.
And I think it's good that it didn't work out because now Craig knows it can happen and he can walk
Right.
into new things with his eyes wide open.
Right. What Craig needs to realize, like he said, so then they get into the whole van ride in Mexico, and Craig's like, it sucks to mess up because I hadn't done it in 2 years, and that's because he wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
I think that, Craig Paige definitely brought out a great side of Craig, but Craig can still be that person without Paige, without anybody. Like, you prove that you could be that person.
And you can really find somebody who appreciates you more. Paige did not appreciate Craig.
I don't think she did either.
And I think part of that's Craig's problem. I don't think she ever misled him. I think he always knew this is what I'm doing. This is where I work. This is where I live. I'm not leaving it. Yeah, Charleston's nice. I'll go down there once. This is not going to be my home. And it can't be your home. And if your business is there, you're going to need to move your business up here.
Right.
You
I
know,
mean, Miss Pat said it. Whitney's mom said it. Like, she didn't think Paige was ever nice to Craig. I mean, I think that's a stretch, but I would imagine
she's loyal. Pat's loyal.
yeah.
She wasn't
Yeah.
at the reunion. She wasn't at doesn't she always pop in the reunion?
I don't think she does. Because Whitney's never even on the reunion. I don't
Okay,
know. I'm gonna have
alright.
to go back and see. I don't know if Whitney's ever been on a reunion. Maybe one or two, but
Okay.
I don't know. So, talking about, Craig realizes that he has more of an anger issue than an alcohol issue. I think sometimes it can go hand in hand,
That's
but
not you can't think like that, Craig. You can't think like that. You have 2 problems and
no,
you have to treat them both.
yeah. And when Madison said we need to accept Craig for who he is, and Madison, this I didn't, and I love Madison, but when she said to Austin, if I were on that van, I would have, calmed him down. I think that that's very easy, much easier said than done. I think when somebody's in that state, it's very difficult for anyone to calm them down. So I
She's
don't
pretty good
blame
with
Austin
that,
for
though.
just
Yeah. I don't blame
maybe
Austin for
Madison
not
could have
doing
done
it.
it, but I think that if
Madison would have done it,
Austin
but not
tried,
Austin. Yeah.
no, I think that Craig would have been even more defensive and it would have blown up even more. Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
So I think that it kind of ended well with the fact that Craig kind of acknowledged,
Wanna know why nobody hooked up with Whitner. I wanna be in that inheritance line. Is he looking for
I know.
somebody old enough to be his grandmother? Because let me tell you something, there's a lot of houses on that property. I
I
like
know.
that property. That's nice.
Yeah.
They did that themselves. They're self-made people. They're not mailbox babies.
Right. Right. And how interesting that Jimmy Buffett's his uncle.
I know. I said, "No,
That
that's
was
not true."
crazy.
I didn't believe it. I thought that was AI. You know me, I don't
No,
believe
I think his
anything anymore. That's his
uh,
uncle, and they were
yeah.
married forever. They were
Yeah.
married like
Yeah.
40 something years.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm with you. I don't believe anything anymore. AI
Yeah.
has ruined, yeah, So, I don't know. I thought it was a
Yeah.
great season of Southern Charm. I hope that if Salley comes back first of all, I hope this whole
I hope
cast
she
comes I
does.
did like this whole cast. I'd like to see Rodrigo get married for sure.
Rodrigo is the most boring person on any reality TV show ever. Why is he there? He has no storyline. He doesn't bring anything to the show. He either needs to be more interesting or leave because we don't need you. We have Madison. Madison is our let's get back on track here.
She's the
We don't
rock.
need to yeah, we
Madison's
don't need
definitely
2
the
of
rock.
you.
No, and he just tries to stir things up
He doesn't bring anything
unnecessarily, I
to the
feel like.
show.
Yeah.
No,
But if they're gonna show him getting married, I'm here for that. I love a wedding.
me too.
I love a wedding.
And we got to at least see one engagement party.
Yeah. I did like how respectful Austin was when they were talking about him sleeping with Madison, whether or not they had her. I did like how
No,
respectful he
no,
was
no, he
being.
wasn't sleeping with Madison. If he was sleeping with Sally.
I'm sorry, Salley, Salley, Salley. Um, yikes.
He did sleep with
I did
Madison
like
though.
how yeah, he did. How respectful he was being about Audrey, because I think, that poor girl probably really felt like she was made a fool
Nothing
of.
to do
She
with the
wasn't.
show.
She has no reason to feel that way. Austin was the problem in this situation. I don't even blame Salley here. I mean, she had her sights on a taken man, but if you are attracted to someone who has a girlfriend, the only reason you would be so I mean, I a normal person wouldn't be hitting on somebody that they thought was happily in a relationship, right?
You don't do that in our
So,
family, huh, Kel? You're gonna get hurt.
that's right. You'll get very hurt.
You get
Very, very
really
hurt.
hurt. Yeah.
So, I feel like Austin did put vibes out exactly what Craig was saying. I think Austin did put vibes out that maybe he wasn't that happy with Audrey, and that's why Salley thought it was okay to come on to him.
And it wasn't until later. It wasn't during the whole relationship. I think Austin just put those vibes out recently. But they never showed how him and Audrey got together. They never went
No.
to she lives in Charlotte, right? That's a very far
Mhm.
you have to get on an airplane. You don't just drive that. That's a distance.
Really? From Charleston?
Yeah, Charlotte is like by Tennessee. Yeah, it's
I
like
wonder if they must
west.
have met, like, online or something.
Yeah. Or maybe they went there to
Wow.
play golf. Yeah. It's a distance.
That's interesting. Well,
And Charleston, North
I thought it was
Carolina.
right, right. I'd like to go to Charleston. I just wanna go to Charleston to go to Republic
I've been there. I love it's
and hang
great.
out.
You go
Yeah.
down there, you have to go to Charleston, and you have to go to Savannah, both of those cities, and don't go in the summertime.
Well, that my father said Savannah too.
Yeah,
So November would
Savannah's
be a
really
nice time to go, right?
November would be perfect. If you go in the summertime or even the spring, the humidity is
No,
like
I
you've
don't want
never
that.
experienced. You've never experienced humidity like those 2 cities. I have a lot of friends that moved to Charleston. Everybody moving to Goose Creek. I know 3 people that have moved to Goose Creek. That's where everybody moves
Really?
at are in our income bracket. Goose Creek is the area everybody moves to, yeah. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 people that moved there,
Wow.
and they're not all related either.
Huh. But at least they all have each other down there, right?
Yeah, yeah, now they got each other. But it's a nice area. It's a real nice area.
We are stuck in Jersey, man. We have too much family here.
Our family doesn't leave. Our
That's what I'm saying.
cousin
Nobody
Johnny moved to
leaves.
Doylestown. He went over the border.
Right. He
We
was
only
the
have
only
one
one, though.
cousin that moved, and that was Michael. That's a
Yeah.
that was many years ago. That's a whole different. But yeah, no, our cousins. We got like 70
And
cousins in New
Rosie, but she
Jersey.
still has her house in North Jersey, Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie's here anytime you want. You want Rosie to come for dinner, she'll be here. She'll hop on a PJ and come visit.
Yeah.
I see
Yeah, we don't leave.
Rosie as much as I see most of my other cousins, because that's how much she comes
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Right.
And we have a very different type of family that we all still see each other. Our
We're
cousins
very
still see each
blessed.
other. I see your mother once a month, we go out to lunch. We were thinking of going out this week and I couldn't make it. But yeah, I see
Yeah, no,
you
we're
know,
very blessed.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
nothing like an
Well,
Italian New Jersey family.
that's right.
Yep.
That's right. Try to get rid of us. You can't.
No,
You can't
not
get
gonna
rid of us.
happen. Not gonna happen.
Well, thank you so much, Cousin Gina.
Thank you for asking me to join you. It was a lot of fun, and I love
Yeah,
talking about Southern Charm. That's one of my favorites. I haven't
me
missed an
too.
episode ever,
Yeah, I love this show. And I hope
and I'm so
that
upset it's over.
I know, me too. I felt like this was a very short season.
They every year they make them less and less, and pretty soon it's gonna
I
be
know.
10 and done.
I
Yeah,
know. It's
yeah,
frustrating.
it really
Well, they
is.
probably figure Netflix when they put seasons out, Netflix, what do you get, like 8 one-hour episodes of a show?
I know. I'm shocked The Pit is 15 episodes.
Yeah, I have to start watching that. I heard that's good.
Oh, we'll talk about that later. That's a 100 out of 100. That is
Okay.
a must watch. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah.
All right, well, thank you for
You.
watching and listening, and
Bye,
please give us
everyone.
5 stars and subscribe and tell your friends.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.